just got surrounded by my peers, my friends, and we just reached out to God. While I couldn't feel it in my body, especially, I could just sense it in my heart, and I had faith that something had changed. Out of faith, we decided to stop using the medicine altogether. Did the colonoscopy, and a few weeks later, he reached out to us. He's like, no signs of inflammation, no signs of any Crohn's or colitis, 100% gone, 100% healed. I was diagnosed with Crohn's and colitis towards the beginning of middle school. I'd always had growth issues, and so my parents were worried, so we talked to the doctor about different things. And so we visited different specialists. Eventually I ended up getting a colonoscopy, which is pretty different for someone my age, not older. And so from that, we were able to diagnose and figure out I had Crohn's and colitis, and it was causing my bowels to inflame, my intestines. I wasn't absorbing nutrition. That inflammation was causing malnutrition, not helping me grow, stunting my growth. Many people have symptoms relating to, upset stomach and sensitivity to foods. And while mine wasn't as severe, I did have certain sensitivities to fruits, like specifically to skins, like apple skins, grape skins. And so, we tried different medicines once we figured out the diagnosis. One, it was an IV, and I had to go to the doctor every few months to get that. And it just wasn't working at all. It was kind of making me grumpy even, affecting my mood. And so it was not helping. So eventually we switched to Humira, which is what I was using up until my healing. And that was, at-home shots every other week. So the way it worked is, since Crohn's is a autoimmune disease, it, part of my body, my immune system, is attacking my intestines and, causing them to inflame. And so the way Humira works is it lowers my immune system, weakens it, so my intestines aren't taking as much damage, aren't being as inflamed. And so while that helps with Crohn's and disease, it makes my overall immune system weaker, making me more sensitive and weaker to disease and just easier to catch even the cold or something simple. And it also had many side effects that I was subject to, like sensitivity to the sun, a decrease in vision accelerated, and just different things that cause daily life a little bit more difficult and more irritating than it would be without the medicine. But we chose to do it, for my overall health. It improved Crohn's, and that did see improvements. My charts reflected good things. The inflammation was going down slightly, but still no healing, still no remission. And so through it all, just kept on looking to God, like wondering, you're going to work in me, you're going to use this disease for your glory, you're going to use a healing for your glory, so just continually pushing into God, praying about that, and just seeing where He would take me in that. And so, kept on praying, with my parents, with my church, my youth group. And so went to Reach Conference in 2022, and John Zick was the preacher. He was talking about his testimony. That just, spoke something to me and prepared my heart for the prayer that at the end of the service. So yeah, different prayers over physical healing, mental healing. And so the physical healing, he reached out with that, and, just got surrounded by my peers, my friends, and we just reached out to God, prayed to Him. And while I couldn't feel it in my body, especially, I could just sense it in my heart, and, I had faith that something had changed, even though I couldn't feel it specifically. And so once we had finished, the service, and we were just talking about the night and what God had done in our lives, and everybody had amazing takeaways. But I just remember when it was my turn, I just really wanted to be faithful about what God had possibly done and had done in my body. And so, just sharing that my testimony. I got home from Reach Conference, I grabbed an apple out of the fridge and I started eating it. Just, it's kind of scary. Like this could really hurt if it, I still had Crohn's, but, ate it. No signs of Crohn's, my stomach was fine. After that, I talked to my parents. We were talking about the healing and different possibilities. And out of faith, we decided to stop using the medicine altogether. And so I'd used it up until the weeks, and just a few weeks after, while we were still processing the healing and, talking about different possibilities and trying to schedule an appointment, which ended up taking a year. But yeah, out of faith, we decided to end using the medicine, and we shared that with our doctor, and just shared our faith with him and what we believed had happened to my body. And he was very open to it, very, very kind about it all. God has really uh, softened his heart to the possibility. And, being able to go off of that after my healing was great. Yeah, that's just another way God, that healing was a blessing in my life, not having to inject myself with those chemicals and, be subject to the side effects, but, just living a easier life and using my testimony to glorify God. It wasn't until right before Reach 2023 when I was able to finally go back to my specialist and did the colonoscopy. And a few weeks later, he reached out to us. He's like, no signs of inflammation, no signs of any Crohn's or colitis, 100% gone, 100% healed. And, just with a few weeks of time to prepare, got ready for Reach 2023. And the very night, like a year after my healing, I was able to give my testimony during the middle of worship to about 1,000, some kids there, just like me, facing similar issues. And it was very humbling and just an awesome night that'll hold with me forever, being able to speak so young to so many people and just share that testimony and give them confidence. I still have doubts. I still have questions. I still face difficult situations where I'm like, why is this happening, God? Where are you? And so I definitely will always trust God, and I love him. And the experience has grown us together, drawn us closer in a way that I could never have dreamed of. But I still face doubts, and there's still going to be issues along the way, but I want to continue to trust him and hold on to that moment and the moments we've shared. Growing up, my mom had a lot of health issues too, and she had been suffering from that since her childhood. And so it took close to 50 years to really see a healing in those areas. She was healed about a year or two before my healing. I experienced my healing. Just seeing her faith and how she stayed faithful through all those years revealed to me how faithful I could be. I didn't know when I was going to be healed, if I was going to be closer to her age, older, maybe never even be healed. Was willing to carry that burden. In Matthew 6:21, Jesus is talking to disciples and some students, and it says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If you focus on worldly treasure, worldly things, the short term, in a way, you'll be missing out on all that God has for you and the things that God can do through you. And so my encouragement to people who haven't been healed, and even those who have, is, just taking that step back, looking at the long term. And even though life is hard now, eternity in heaven with God is going to be better than you could ever imagine, and better than anybody who doesn't suffer with physical illnesses or diseases. Their life might be good on earth, but your life in heaven will be so much better than you can imagine.